All right, folks, from the land of the midnight sun here in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, all the way over to my next guest in Italy, I have Alex of Rhapsody of Fire on the line with me today, man. Alex, it's a great pleasure to have you on today.
It's a pleasure for me as well. Nice to meet you.
Cool, man. Now, I'm noticing that you guys in Rhapsody of Fire have just released a new album June 23rd. It's called Legendary Years, and it's sort of a compilation of early Rhapsody tracks, from what I understand. What was the reasoning for creating such a compilation, I suppose, even though things are re-recorded?
Initially, we wanted to do something to celebrate the 20 years anniversary of the band,
Yes, that's right.
and this was an idea we had since quite a long time actually. And at that point when Fabio left the band, I just thought, well, this idea is even more important now. So I thought really to go ahead and and re-record 15 tracks, which was a really hard, big production, very hard job.
I would imagine
But
so.
yeah, we decided to do it. We got a new drummer, a new singer, and I said, okay, just let's do it. Let's go to the studio. Let's enjoy this pre-recordings, So we just selected some songs. Some songs I selected, some other. I spoke with my label, AFM Records. They wanted some titles as well. So at the end, we got 15,
Hmm.
15 titles, and we had just entered the studio and we worked very hard to get the best result we could.
Yeah, no doubt. I guess my question would be, going through 20 some odd years of recordings, I mean, what was your selection process for the tracks that did end up going on the record?
Well, you at some point the label wants the most, let's call it commercial, the most
Yeah.
famous hits.
Hmm.
I tend to I tended, to select the songs also considering the voice of Fabio and of Giacomo, of course, and songs like "Flames of Revenge," for example. I knew Giacomo would have sing it in a fantastic way. In fact, it's one of the songs I like the most, and even live, it's amazing, So it's considering new approach, the new vocal approach of Giacomo. I selected some songs that I knew would work really good, and there are so many songs at the end, and
Yeah.
at some point it's not easy, at the end,
Yeah, for sure. Well, now I was just thinking, like, lots of people are talking about Giacomo's, new approach to the vocals. I mean, just listening through and then, comparing to some of the other Rhapsody recordings and then even more recent Rhapsody of Fire stuff, it seems to me that Giacomo has a more classical approach to things. Would that be an accurate assessment, Alex?
Well, let's say first of all, let's talk about Fabio for a moment. He was the historical singer, and the way he sings for sure is unique. His the sound of his voice is unique. His vocal range, his timbre. He gave his sound to the band.
Mm-hmm.
And some people say that he was too lyrical, and I have to say he's a great singer. He was very versatile, and he was able to sing in many different styles. The difference with Giacomo is that maybe what you said is that is more classical. Yeah, maybe he's more a metal singer,
Mm-hmm.
but actually he's not, because he's into pop songs, into rock songs, into heavy metal songs. He's into musicals, so he really likes to sing different styles. So that's really remarkable for a metal singer, and that's a component that for Rhapsody of Fire is really important, So Giacomo can scream very, very high pitched notes, and always in pitch in everything he sings, and he can be very aggressive, very rough, also delicate. That's really important for us, because
Yeah.
I still like to compose different songs with different styles, and Giacomo did really the job. It was incredible to record him in the studio and listening to him recording high notes so easily. It was incredible. It was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, is there formal training with him there? Because I mean, he sounds really solid to me, just in every respect on these songs.
He's a really good singer. He teaches singing. He does. He's a teacher as well. So
Yeah.
he took the job really serious. He got months to prepare himself. And when he came to Trieste, we entered the studio. We stayed there for 15 days. Every day we did a song,
Hmm.
and we worked each song the best we could. And he's simply into it. He's not only a great singer; he's really into the role now. He really loves this new band, this new experience we are doing together. It's at the same time it's very serious, very professional, and we are all enjoying in a very funny way. Very
Yeah.
we have a lot of fun together. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Sure.
But still with professionality. And this is really what I wanted. To have a band with all band members we can really laugh and stay relaxed at all time. It's with the older guys it was really not impossible. At the end, it was not really possible to live together. Despite music aside was okay, but
Yeah. Yeah.
personal wise, it has to work as well. You cannot just force yourself to do something against yourself, and everybody then you get pissed and nobody speaks to each other. I don't want to do that anymore. And now finally with Manu, Robbie, Alessandro Sala, and Giacomo, we really have fun.
For sure. Well, now, just getting back to the record, I mean, it's pretty common knowledge that over the years you've been responsible for the string arrangements and the keyboard playing, obviously, and the choral arrangements. I guess same question for you that I posed, about Giacomo. I mean, I would imagine there's a history of formal training, and did you grow up around classical music? Like, what sort of sparked your interest to sort of do the whole, as you guys would be classified, symphonic power metal thing?
Yeah, well, personally, I did study some piano from the age of 8 till the age of 13, 14. And I gave up for a few years, and then I took lessons back when I was 18, and I was starting to be interested in keyboards as well. Mainly, at the time I was doing that. I was playing the piano because I liked it, but I didn't have really a vision at that point to have a band or stuff. And when I was 18 and 20 and met with Luca, then something, an idea came up. But I have to say, personally, it's a lot to do about movies because
Uh-huh.
I was always passionate about movies since I was a kid. And, when you hear these fantastic soundtracks and I bought thousands of CDs about soundtrack and stuff, and I really never study orchestral arrangements. I bought books, I start reading something, and then I start doing it.
Yeah.
It's really out of the blue. I just did it. I just found myself doing something I never did before,
Uh-huh.
and enjoying it, and having some good result, I have to say. So, of course, the more you do, the better you get, and yeah, it was incredible. We did
Yeah.
some experience with orchestra, and lately I also had the chance to write my very first own soundtracks for a movie. So
Wow.
it's absolutely incredible. Yeah, yeah.
You now combing through a few of these tracks, there's a definite sort of late Renaissance and or maybe even like Bach kind of feel. I mean, like is this like was did you grow up listening this sort of stuff in your home as a kid?
Yeah, sure. And I have to say that a big part of the Baroque sound and the Rinascimental sound we had in the beginning was because of my brother. And
Oh,
he is 8 years younger than me, and he was already playing concerts when he was a very young teenager. At the age of 10 years old, he was already playing flutes in churches and doing concerts. And so suddenly, one time he came to me and Luca and gave us a tape and said, "Hey, you listen to this. Maybe you may like it and you may want to include it in your sound." And actually, we did. We wrote songs like "Legendary Tales" and stuff. So yes, my brother was totally involved in all this. Baroque music, and still today we work together, so it's a great thing. It's a great thing to have a brother and share with him the same taste for music. And he's more into the classical and Baroque style. I'm more into the modern soundtrack style. But
Yeah.
when we combine the elements together, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, well, I would imagine the soundtrack type style that's where the kind of epic fantasy type thematic material comes into play. Am I right?
Yes. For example, if you take an album like Into the Legend, which is the last studio album we did,
Mm-hmm.
there is a big Baroque Celtic section. We recorded here in Trieste with cembalo, with Baroque flute, with viola da gamba, all these very special and original instruments, solo instruments. And my brother had a big part in that. To have this magic ancient sound. And it's really incredible. When a piece starts with cembalo and flutes and stuff, it's like it opens up really a new dimension. Or you're really involved into the fantasy world. It's very easy to get involved, to be involved in that.
For sure, for sure. I was just seeing here now. You spoke about going out and doing some shows with the new lineup, but one thing I wanted to mention was Sieb Leverman of Orden Ogan mixed and mastered this, and now I think you guys are going to go out and do some dates a little later on in the fall. So I mean, I would imagine there's a long time connection with those guys.
Well, there's not really long time connection, but we started working together for legendary years,
Mm-hmm.
and we really liked each other, and we got along really well, I have to say. And Seb recorded the drums with Manu in a studio close to his studio in Germany, and he mixed and mastered the complete album. And there was a lot of work to mix all these songs, and he just did it. It made me happy. He was happy as well, and everybody was happy. The result is just fantastic.
Yeah.
And I have to say that in the past we really had a hard time to mix all these tracks. And what Seb did was huge, because I felt there was space for more things. You know what I mean. And the sound was so clean and detailed and defined that. I said, "Wow, it's just incredible!" And everything is more audible and more clear. Even the vocals are like. Besides, Giacomo has a much better English, and you can hear much better all the pronunciation and all the words. But this is also a plus when the mix is so clear. Everything is more detailed. More in front.
Looking back 20 years with Rhapsody and Rhapsody of Fire. I mean, what are some things that stand out for you, Alex?
Well, everything since day first. I mean, this is it must be clear. Despite I split up with Durilli and Fabio left, and Alex Holzer left as well. But I don't have a problem with the person themselves. As person. So everything was a big adventure for me. And so, of course, one of the best moments for artistically was to work with Christopher Lee.
Mm-hmm.
And to have his narrations and to compose music. I composed some instrumental music on the vocals of Christopher Lee, on the narration of Christopher Lee. So doing so and composing songs, also knowing that there is a fantastic deep voice of Christopher Lee was an amazing experience. And of course, I have to mention the fact Christopher Lee himself asked us to sing with us. So
wow.
At the end, it was a collaboration that started also from his side, and it was incredible. Maybe between working with orchestra, with real orchestra, and working with Christopher Lee, maybe those two things are the most important the things that that I can say, I can remember about.
Have you been in contact with Luca and Fabio just about the 20th anniversary at all? Did you, give them a quick call and go, hey, what's up? Happy anniversary?
No, not really. Actually, we had a long talk about this reunion thing, Luca and myself, but we did not reach any sort of balanced agreement about that, So I decided to just go on working with Rhapsody of Fire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the way Fabio left the band, with a short communicate on Facebook for in the night, that's not really an opening for future, talking or stuff like that. I'm really done. I'm really done. I turned page. I wish them the best. I wish Fabio the best. But I have just turned page. I don't wanna. I don't wanna do. I don't wanna go back. You know what I mean. I have to look into the future after 20 years and after this big adventure. I really want to do something new.
Yeah, well, it sounds like with this new lineup that you're in a good headspace both personally and professionally. So, I mean, I guess as you said, as you get older and as time wears on, I mean, you would probably prefer to work in an environment like that as opposed to looking back on old things as much as maybe the fans would want to see something in the future.
Yeah, I understand that really well. Believe me, I understand that because I am a fan myself, and through all this year, I saw the singers leaving, guitar player leaving, band splitting up. I know it's hard, as a fan, I know exactly how it feels. But with this new lineup, we are just getting started. It's not easy. I mean, hard work is needed, but we all like it, And after the first show, everybody was so happy. Everybody was smiling and thankful to each other. And I never heard this before, So
For sure.
sorry, but this is really important for me,
Yeah.
The human side it's important, and I don't want to miss it anymore.
For sure. Well, I mean, all that aside, are you looking towards a record of original material here eventually with these guys? Have you started to talk about that?
Yeah. This Robbie, and I already recorded some songs. Actually, we have recorded 6 songs. We recorded the guitars for 6 songs already, and I can proudly say those recordings are going to be on the record because I wanted to do really professional recording, not demos and stuff, So I have to say, yes, we wrote a lot of songs, and I still have to work here by myself to write more material. And yes, it's very exciting. The material is so heavy, you cannot imagine. And no, yeah. Robbie is a really good guitar player, and I like his riffing is really good. And we listened to a lot of material, and then together we decided what was the best riffing and guitar parts for the new album. And we started recording, and I have the material here, and it's just fantastic. I already did some simple drumming and bass programming just to hear how it sounds. That's the way I work, and it's really amazing. Of course, in the middle, I had to prepare for the shows and rehearse and stuff. So I had to stop for a moment, but it's very good. We already have 6 pieces there, waiting to be worked out. And yes, we are really excited. Our goal is to release a new studio album by end of summer in 2018.
Wow. Well, I mean, I can tell just by your tone that you're really excited and enthusiastic about this project, and also moving forward in the direction that you want to go with the guys that you want to go forward with. So I mean, it's definitely been awesome chatting with you about all things Rhapsody of Fire and Rhapsody today, Alex. It's been greatly appreciated.
Thank you. I have to say the work that Seb did on Legendary Years made me very happy and created a kind of a new mindset toward new composition, because
Yeah.
now I know how a studio album can sound if he does mix it,
Yeah.
So just get ready for for a big sound, big heavy metal sound. I
Yeah.
really want drums, bass, and guitar to push a lot, and so Seb is the right man to do so. So I'm really excited.
Awesome, man. Well, all the way from northern Canada to Italy on this one, definitely much appreciated, and I thank you for your time, Alex. It's been awesome.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you as well.